Once your privacy is invaded, it's kind of like a bell. You can't unring it, right? Once it's rung, everybody hears it. Everyone has access to it. You can't put the sound waves back inside the bell once it rings. It's the same thing here with privacy. So this case really started because my son was born in a hospital in Saginaw. My wife, she was to the hospital to have one of her last checkups in the final weeks before our son was born. And I get a phone call from her, middle of the afternoon. They want to do a C-section. They want to get our son born right away. There's a concern. It's time to go. They want this to happen today. So he was born. Everything went smooth with the C-section. He was born about 3:20 in the afternoon. About 4 hours later, his blood sugar just dropped like a rock, and the doctors didn't know why. There was real concern about whether he was going to make it. I mean, he's not even 12 hours old at this point, and we're kind of living and dying by these blood sugar readouts. I remember it was like 6 o'clock in the morning, and a nurse approached me and said, "We need you to sign the consent form for your son to donate his blood for medical research." Okay, so you have to understand at that point, I'd been up for almost 2 days at that point, or coming up on 2 days. What do you need consent for? You've been taking his blood from his foot every 15 minutes since he went to the NICU. I mean, what are we talking about here? And she said, "Oh, no, this isn't the blood for us. This is the blood we're going to send to the state of Michigan." And they said, "Well, you have to sign this. If you don't sign this, we have to call the police." So I remember I checked the no box, I signed the form, and that's when I first heard that I had ever heard of the Michigan Neonatal Biobank and this newborn blood program. So I think I did what anybody would do: is you go online and you type in a newborn screening program into a search engine and try to find out much about it. And there just wasn't very much about it. I mean, there was, what they did was vague, how they did it was vague. I mean, I just didn't quite understand what was going on with this stuff. But that's when I largely started researching just all aspects of this whole program and its tentacles that went in all sorts of directions, where it was the Department of Health and Human Services. There was a private research lab over in Grand Rapids, the University of Michigan, Michigan State University, Wayne State University. The blood samples are kept at this called Tech Town. It's an incubator building for Wayne State University. The director of the program at the time was a vice president of Wayne State. Their board of directors were from different universities. I mean, there was the idea about privacy and individual choice to be a voluntary part of this was just nowhere in this at all. And of course, what I could try to find out, I found very little. So I did what I do. I started going to work, started filing FOIA requests and access to records, and I did a number of things at the beginning. And the more I found out and the more I learned what was missing as part of this program, namely, sufficient knowledge of parents and their consent, I'll be frank, the more pissed off I got. I mean, this was a situation where this program was designed specifically to ask parents at the worst possible time to make a pretty profound decision. No, it's not life or death situation decisions, but it's a pretty profound decision about essentially giving away your children's medical data, which again, you can't unring the bell. Once that's out there, you can't bring it back, right? It's forever gone. It's forever out of your control then. And I mean, I just got angry about it, and and the more I started researching it, the more I found that the government was making decisions about my son and my son's privacy and my son's rights without asking me, and they didn't ask my wife. And I get to make those decisions. My wife gets to make those decisions. Some mid-level bureaucrat in some state agency with a faceless building, nameless faceless building, doesn't get to make that decision. It's not that this program is inherently evil, and it's not that this program is a bad idea. It's the way they go about executing the program that's the problem. And the problem is that instead of asking for permission, the government, and when I say the government, the doctors and the nurses that are taking, they're agents of the government at that point. What they're really doing is they are eviscerating the consent that needs to be obtained so that they can use these blood samples and private medical data for their own benefit without ever really asking or checking in with the folks whose blood it is or the children's of whose blood it is. Now, today, the information that parents are given about the program is admittedly better than it's ever been before. That I will acknowledge. But it still has a long way to go.